insert that TikTok sign that says when it comes to a drink, I'ma have it. Everybody be using
that. You know your mama. Your mama can have herself a little sippy of that. I thought you okay. Haven't picked the whole thing up. You know, working out at the gym that help. Anyhow, stay focused, Mika. I mean, you not finished your little course?
No, I come back to that. I promise.
Just knock that out first, cause you're like 2 seconds from done. Just knock that.
Did you do the course? Because if anything, I'm like 2 hours from done.
Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Hey HR. Okay y'all, I don't know if y'all ever felt like me, but I can tell you that so many times I keep trying to plan for the year, and every year I've been trying to like improve the way that I plan because my results haven't been what I wanted them to be. So I get good results, I can get things done, I just can't get them where they're measurable for improvement. Or I get them done and then the next year I revert and make the same bad mistakes and end up with the same goals for the new year. We're gonna change that. So last year, I really thought that I had an idea of the way things were going, but because of the year before, which was 2020, then it was like, okay, what's the reason I'm planning? Because obviously like 2020 ain't work out the way I thought it was going to. So I was like, okay, cool. I did get some things done. Now I'm at a place where I just need to measure where I am and see how I can progress from that, create some habits, be intentional, and you know what? See where this thing lands me. So I will say that I am super duper happy with the way life is for me right now. There's some things I would love to change. There's some things I definitely need to improve. And I'm gonna show y'all how some of those things I knew, some of those things I didn't, and how do I know the difference. So if you guys wanna know how I'm gonna plan for 2022, then you wanna keep watching. Years and years of planning, I've always kind of had an idea. So most times I run for a notebook like this, I kind of put out some ideas. I would jump on my computer, do some Excels for all of my financial goals, but it's been repetitive that when I look at past year's goals, I'm like, man, there's so many different things I want to do. So a friend of mine, one year, she posted like her top 33 for the year. So she was doing it by the years that she was like how old she was. And so I started that. That didn't work out for me because I still wanted to categorize them for some reason. I was like, yeah, there's a whole 30-something different goals, but so many of them fit in a category. So it was like, why not categorize them and then see how I do in a category versus each individual goal? This year, your girl found something new. So normally, when I sit down here, I kind of use this little table. Can y'all see it? Yeah, okay. Haven't picked the whole thing up. You know, working out at the gym that help. Anyhow, stay focused, Mika. Normally I use this little table right here when I'm going live. You can see my light is here, my other light is here, right? So I always kind of have these lights, but I don't normally have the table. But I felt like I needed it for this video. The great thing about it is I can't even say I found it. I gotta give credit to folks. So let me tell y'all something. Being on IG and paying attention to stuff you're interested in is going to guide you in your personal life, your home life, your religious life, your work life, everything. So I really like writing, I really like planning, I really like journaling. I know a lot of people using like all these apps, software. I'm still a girl that just like to write. So I was so happy to stumble onto Makselife. I saw so many people using Makselife planners and I was like, man, I really like this. And it seemed like every time, like YouTubers, people I follow on IG, I'm like, all of them doing the same thing at the same time. This must be something that's helping them get habitual and stuff like that. And like to get it into their habits of their everyday life so they achieve their goals. And then I would try to like see the way that they decorated and I was like, oh my God, this is like really nice. And if I could see myself with this, like this is inspiring. So I have the Makselife flagship planner, and in it I already did quite a few things. So I went through in the beginning pages and already wrote out kind of where I am in some areas.
She wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby. Let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane. Feel like you the one and I'm on one. So what it's gonna be? Baby, squad up. We finna go deep. Riding on a team, got what you need. Baby, won't you keep me company? Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down.
So I went through and already kind of wrote out the beginning parts. So let me first, before I start telling y'all about my Makselife, I'm gonna go through a few things. Notebooks have always been my thing. So I told you guys, if y'all had paid attention to like how I organize my life as an HR professional, then you saw in that video all about my notebooks. So I'm gonna try to put it right here. If it doesn't come up right here, I'll definitely have it at the end of the video. So you guys can click on it, and I'll put it in the description box. So I normally use like one notebook. These have been my go-to notebooks for years. And I'll take the sticky note off just so I don't give y'all a spoiler alert. But these have kind of been my go-to notebooks for years. But Staples stopped selling them. So I had bought like a whole bunch of them one time. So this is literally like my last fresh copy. I think I still have like a couple of them that I write notes in. So I do have a couple of them that I write notes in. I really love the paper. Like I like the way my pen hits the paper. I could use it being a little bit bigger, but I love the folder inside where I can just tuck stuff in. I can put sticky notes down here, sticky notes over here. So I really like these. I still use one for church, still use one for kind of everyday life. I still have a couple of them. These are like my go-to notebooks, right? This one for this year, I've decided I'm going to kind of revamp my notebook system because there's a lot more in my life that I was trying to like stuff into one notebook. And I'm like, no, I really need to use this in multiple notebooks. My sticky note that I had on the front here, because I don't want to write it on here, but I don't want to forget what I'm using it for, is my mastermind group. So in my mastermind group, I write notes all the time. I've been stuffing it in my YouTube notebook. I'm going to take all of my mastermind notes out of here, transfer it to here. I've already taken quite a bit of my notes that I had in here for these other notebooks and put them in there. Notebooks are going to be like my savior this year. The next notebook that I have, and y'all, again, y'all got to think IG, because I know you guys remember Jenny Braun I had on one of my lives. She, along with Julie from Julie's Plans, they introduced me to the Makselife. And they both also introduced me to the fringe notebooks. So I went to like TJ Maxx, bought a whole bunch of these. Gave my bestie one of them, but this one I'm using for work. This one I'm gonna use for brain dumps. Isn't that so cute? I really, really like it. I think it's awesome. Jot it down. So I normally put like my brain dumps here and my YouTube outline. So instead of just putting that all in one notebook, I know I can go to one notebook for those. So this is a notebook I probably would keep with me pretty often, but since your girl work from home now, she really might not have to travel with it. Another thing that I was stuffing all in one notebook is my notes from client services. So now, whenever I do a client call, I have all my notes in one place. So I do digital notes that I send back to my clients. Not all of my clients, but if you get a certain package, then you automatically get like follow-up notes in a calendar and a whole outline of things to do afterwards and when we should meet again and all of that stuff. But I also like to keep my notes that's just for me. Use that for that. And so another thing I didn't want to forget was back here with my pens. Y'all see, this is just some of my pens. Y'all, if y'all see my 3 favorite things video, then you know for sure that I have other favorite things, and one of my #1 ones are all pens. I'll definitely put that video in the description box too, so you guys can look at that one. But another notebook that I'm using is the top 3 notebook. With the top 3 notebook, this is where I already told you guys in that video, I'm gonna use it for the same purpose. So this is my notebook I got from Erin or Erin On Demand. And so I will still use it where one side, I pretty much have like my video work that I need to do for YouTube. The other side is all of my business for HR. Another one that I'm also going to use, that I'm primarily going to use for all of my organization of all my videos, how things are going, is my Erin Condren. So I bought this one thinking this was going to be my go-to planner for the year, but I got it and I was not impressed. I really didn't like Erin Condren's paper. I didn't like the way it worked with my pens. I didn't like how like construction paper like it is. I didn't really like that I couldn't customize it. I literally only got the monthly version, so I don't feel bad. But I know that I can use this for all of my HR planning. So all of my content planning will go in there. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna use that with the digital planner that I bought from Cathrin Manning, but we shall see. Y'all know we can do whatever the hell we want when we plan our own goals, and y'all stay focused, because when you stay focused on doing it the way you want to, then you ain't got to worry about, oh, I messed up, It's your goals, it's your plan. My big Mac Daddy that I'm gonna be using is my Makselife. So my Makselife will have my entire life here. I will have all of my doctor's appointments, all of my appointments with Nasia, whatever I need to do with her, all of my finance goals, all of my YouTube goals, all of my spiritual goals, like every goal. So if you know anything about Makselife, it definitely is well-rounded for your entire life. And so I already went through the first pages. And oh my god, it's full of so many details on how to plan. Like if you follow the details, it should work. And other people use it repetitively, so I think I'll be fine. So this is my life compass that I already completed. That's how I found out some areas that I was like, girl, you need to get your life together. Like you real rough in some areas. In some areas, why are you so good in those areas? So my area that I was just like, this, I can't be like perfect, but I was so close to it. Like I had so many 10s was work. So I'm gonna ease back on that shit. Like I'm doing too much. Like my health and wellness, my spiritual, my fun and recreation was obviously low because I spent so much time with work. Already did my assessment scoring, already set my intentions, and already came up with my word for the year. And guess what? My word for the year is being intentional. Y'all, I feel like if I stick to this and truly stay intentional, I shouldn't have any problems. I just think that's such a powerful word. My word last year was foundation. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm building a foundation of my business. I'm building a foundation of the next level of my career. I'm building a foundation of being more free because I no longer work at the church. I no longer, like run to do what people want me to do. I'm more focused on what I want to do. And so that's been helping me with the foundation. But now we're going to be intentional. We're going to be intentional about these goals. So I already went through and did like my personal, my fun and recreation. And these are the categories that Makselife gives you. So work and life, family and relationships, health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, finance, and physical environment. So I already went through and kind of mapped out what January is going to look like. I'm not all the way done yet. But I already have my January goals here. So I already know how this is going to go. And I'm super excited that I already have my weekly actions in mind. And I think if I keep going in this direction, I'm going to be really, really good. So I'm trying to still formulate what my AM and PM routine is going to be like and what my focus items are going to be. Because those are things that really shouldn't, in my opinion, be goals. They should just be habitual. So I'm gonna just kind of keep making some edits with those because those are the things I want to keep going in my life for the long haul. Let me just be clear. Your girl had to go ahead and pour herself a glass of wine for this. I don't know why. I was in such a planning mode and then I was like, well, now you need to record. And like when I'm planning, I normally don't like to interrupt it with anything, but YouTube was new for me and I knew that this was a video I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, just get relaxed, drink. And if y'all watch any of my lives on Thursday, which if y'all here, I'm pretty sure y'all do. If you don't, set your alerts. You're gonna know exactly when your girl doing it.
You gotta insert that TikTok sign that says, when it comes to a drink, I'ma have it. Everybody be using that.
You know your mama gonna have herself a little sippy sip. So before we even get into well, Tamika, what made you get here? How can I get started? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell y'all that I've talked about it in lives. I've seen Sierra, the creator and CEO of Makselife. She's talked about it.
Tip number 1, I want to talk about mindset. And I think, honestly, when it comes to goal setting, majority of goal setting happens on the inside, not the outside. Mindset is so incredibly important. I can't stress enough that really is the biggest determining factor between someone who has extreme success with their goal setting and someone who maybe tends to have more of a challenge with it is having a growth mindset.
But let me tell you guys that the first place to go with your planning is a mindset shift. Whenever you're trying to plan any goals, whenever you're trying to get your life together, whenever you're planning don't work for me, you gotta know that planning is a mindset shift. I was introduced to David. It's a guy that talks about mindset shifts. And one of the things he said is if you think it, you'll achieve it. And he was saying so many people want to do well in business and they want to do well in life and they have no idea what that looks like. And he's like, you'll never get it. As soon as you believe it, you'll get there. And at first, for a second, I thought, well, that's a stretch because I can know how do I know what that looks like if I've never been there? But you can create it yourself of what that looks like for you, that idea of success. I was just driving in the car one day and it came to me and I was like, you know what, he's right. Because I create what that success looks like because it's based on what makes me happy, what makes me feel achieved, what makes me feel like I've accomplished a goal, what makes me feel like I'm happy and saying I did this, I did that. If you can envision what that looks like and take a moment to just focus on what that truly looks like, then guess what? You can achieve it.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the law of attraction and manifesting. What we fail to do as adults is continue our childlike mentality in a sense of imagination, creativity. I look at it as I brought my mermaid back into my marketing because I feel like not only was I that in my past life, but that's something I really connect with. I love the water, the ocean, and it's something that you don't see adults talking about cartoon things or, fairy tales. And to me, if you say, oh, I want this life, well, how do you know about that life, right? Like, okay, somebody wants to be a millionaire, billionaire, but what are you going to do with that money when you get it? That's how it's going to come into your possession because you have plans for it now. If we're really going to look at this, you know, as a bigger picture, we make vision boards. But how are you turning those visions, how are you turning those images into something that you're actually, oh, I'm working towards this? And even if you're not working towards it, how are you putting it in your head? So many times people get jealous of somebody versus saying, oh, they have this. Why don't you start asking yourself, how can I have that too? And your brain is going to start giving you the things on how you can make it happen. We just don't allow ourselves to do that.
So obviously, just like those ladies said, if you do a mindset shift, you can do anything, y'all. The mind is so damn powerful. Like, people play with it, but it's like, for me, once I get something set in my mind, it's probably gonna get done. It might not get done the way I thought I wanted it to get done. It might not look the way I originally thought it was gonna look, but it gets done. You gotta get your mind right. Like, people will be like, I can't find no job. Like, were you intentional while you were applying? Or were you just going through as quick as you can the first thing you see? Because let me tell you, quantity means nothing. Quality means everything. So that same thing that you're gonna do in your job search, you gotta do in your life. So the same thing with your finances, the same thing with your personal life. Like, I knew that I wasn't feeling like I was being the best mother I could be. Yeah, I was being a good mother, but was I being the best mother I can be? Well, this flagship, planner really tell you, girl, she been messing up. Because I suck at quality time. Like, I have been single so long. My daughter's been a teenager. I mean, she's 18 now, so it's been some time. My stress reliever or my attention immediately goes to work. And first of all, when I say work, I don't just mean my 9-to-5 job. I mean whatever side hustles I got, working at the church, whatever I can do to prepare for work. Now that I have YouTube, it's like whatever I can do to advance my channel. Can I watch another YouTube video to teach me something different? Can I sit down and do some brain dumps? Can I sit down and write out some content? Can I sit down and write out my schedule? I've just dived into work, and I realized that I really fell short on my spiritual growth, because for me, church became work. Church and family became like the same thing. So work and family were one thing and church was here, and they should have been separate, but I really had them all together because primarily my family goes to my church. And I was also working at my church, and I didn't realize that I knew something was missing. I didn't know exactly what it was. And my connection with the Lord was drifting away because I was more focused on getting the work done. And I was more frustrated about the way the work was going. I can't wait to get my spiritual journey on a new refresh kick, because it needed. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. The next thing that's going to be huge when you start trying to plan some goals is you got to put the end in mind. Totally create that end or define that end and keep it in your mind. After you get your mindset shifted right, you know what you're trying to attain, like what your final goal is. Y'all, let me tell y'all, when I know that with this YouTube channel, okay, I really want to reach as many people as I can reach, then getting subscribers was the #1 thing for me, right? Because I wanted the masses to kind of know the stuff that I felt you guys just didn't know. Okay, as I'm researching and learning YouTube, I'm like,
oh my God, hold up, I can get paid. Like, am I missing out on coins?
So that was my goal. What is the minimum I need to do to get there? 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. How can I get there quick? Because I want to get there within my first year. And like that end goal in mind, getting that extra bag, that passive income, that money I really got to work for as far as AdSense. Like, I already have videos out there, so people watch the old ones, that's passive income. But money I don't have to go out in somebody's office to get every day. It was like, why not? Like, that was my push. So when you get that push in mind, then you're gonna be fine. Okay, prior to YouTube, I came from humble beginnings, and I knew what I wanted life to look like for me. And knowing what I wanted life to look like, knowing how I wanted my lifestyle to be, those things really put me in a mindset of, girl, listen, you got to get right, because you're trying to do something you've never seen done in your family before, but you've seen it done plenty of times. You have all of the equipment to do it. Your mother says you can do anything. Like, you can do it. You got the Lord behind your side. Like, come on, push through. And knowing that I wanted to break generational curses and to set a new trend for not only my generation, my daughter's generation, but the generations behind her, I was like, you know what? I got to keep going. And knowing that I had that end in mind really helps me on the days that I just didn't feel like doing nothing. Sometimes them days turn into weeks. Sometimes the weeks turn into months. And by the time it started looking like it's getting into a month, I'm like,
okay, girl, get yourself together, because you got to get back on it.
and that end in mind is what pushed me there. So now everybody says this part, and I don't know why you guys wouldn't think I'm gonna say this, because if you're trying to plan for next year, next month, next quarter, whatever, you gotta just start. Y'all, I'm not really excited about how my details turned out in my flagship journal because I just couldn't get in the planning mood because I'm so used to doing it in a different format, right? I'm so used to getting on my computer and like putting it in an Excel sheet. And this year I'm doing it a little different. I'm using a different type of notebook. I'm using a different type of format. I'm using somebody else's guidance to kind of help me get there, right? I'm trusting somebody I don't know. For me, that was an issue. I got so many areas in here that has whiteout and stuff. Well, I ain't gonna show y'all because y'all don't need to see all my personal goals like that. You know what I'm saying? I might show y'all the weekly goals. Not the annual ones. Y'all see the annual ones when I'm done. I have so much whiteout in here and I was just like, man, I'm gonna just make it do the best I can do. There were some colors I wanted to just kind of match with everything else. I didn't really have them colors in the low dot pen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the low dot pen. So I still had to make it work. And I just was trying to get into a groove, but you know what I did? I just got started. Some things I thought, well, I'll wait until January 1st. What the hell I'm waiting for? There's some things I started now, like literally implemented in my life now. I was so happy I did that last year with my YouTube channel because look at where we are now. If I hadn't started now, imagine where I would have been. Just start, y'all. Get going. Don't care about how rusty it is. Don't care about how it doesn't look the way you want it to go. Just get started on those goals. Y'all, I really hope that this video was helpful to y'all because I enjoyed doing it. So listen, if you got an idea of kind of what you want your goals to be and you don't mind sharing them, put them in the comments below. But I will tell y'all, I thank y'all so much for watching another Hey HR video. I cannot wait to see y'all on the next one.
No, it's all love. No, it's all love. I've been feeling like I'm feeling like the man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the lattice in the